Mackay with a W tonight. It is the Bendigo Spirit taking on the Perth Lynx. The Bendigo Spirit showing a lot of promise on Monday night, going down to the Caps by 20, but yet the young team is looking as fresh as ever and looking as solid as ever under the tutelage of Tracy York. Whereas the Perth Lynx, again, so close, yet so far. They lost to the Melbourne Boomers after leading by as much as 8 during the course of the game. Another game they let slip. Hopefully they can get their first win of the season. Good evening and welcome to WNBL HQ for the 2020 Chemist Warehouse WNBL season. I'm Michael Thompson. I will be your host and commentator tonight. And joining me, well, the dream team is back. My expert, my special comms tonight, she is a WNBL legend. She played for the Dandenong Rangers. I know her very, very well. Her name is Michelle Gubbles. Mish, welcome to the coverage tonight. It's so good to work with you again.
Thank you. Yes, it's nice to be reunited with you after, commentating with the Boomers last season. So, yeah, hopefully we're going to have a close game today.
What are your thoughts going into this one? I know you spoke to Tracy York during the week after the loss against the Capitals. Was she confident in tonight's game?
She was confident, so they're going to play a running game. So that's, up the floor, in their pockets. So that's what she told me the other day. So actually yesterday. So I'm assuming that's what they'll do, but who knows? I think it'll be a close game though. Perth, they're a good team and they just keep getting better and better and better. So I commentated them the first match and they struggled a little bit against Adelaide, but they just are getting better and better. And so I think we're going to see a close game.
They looked as solid as ever as we see some live shots now from Mackay Stadium, which looks a treat tonight, that's for sure. And we also saw the game earlier, which was called by Corbin Middlemas and Peter Hooley, which was the Capitals winning by 17. And we're a little bit shocked though, because the Boomers, their undefeated streak has come to an end. The Caps looks really solid, led by Jade Melbourne, who is putting together quite a CV for Sandy Bondella to pick her for the 2021 Olympics. Yes,
well, tender age of 18 for Jade Melbourne. She's doing really well, 20 points in that last match. So she's fantastic. When we talk about shocks, I'm not so sure. Like, the Boomers are good, but the Caps, when they got their full strength in, they are super. They are really, really good. And the same when the Boomers beat the Southside Flyers. Anything can happen, and the Boomers are a good squad, so I wasn't surprised because you throw that Liz factor in too.
Absolutely. The stunning fives have come out for both sides, and it's good to see Mary Goulding and Millie Todd Hunter, of course Tessa Levy and Carly Earns also make up that five as well. It's a really good balanced lineup in this Bendigo Spirit team. It's good to see Mary Goulding playing some good minutes this year.
Yeah, she's been impressive so far, really, really impressive actually. And like, they've got their true big, which is Carly Earns, but she's a big that likes to play as a guard, so I'd like to see her get more inside, I think.
And for the Perth Lynx, starting there is Darcy Garvin. We've also seen Alex Sharp play some really, really good minutes as well. And the bench, though, Taylor Burrows was really good. She's staying on the bench tonight for the Perth Lynx. Kayla Steindl, she was also fantastic in the 6-point loss to the Boomers on Monday night as well. There's a lot to like about. There's so much untapped talent in both these teams tonight. So it's going to be really good to see the young teams on display tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Look, and they are young rosters and they are using their benches really well, and you kind of have to. You've got no choice in this scenario when you're playing back-to-backs or you've got a day between. So they're playing smartly, and we've got Ebzery and Chebatoni back, so that's great. And I think Chebatoni had a bit of an ankle injury, but Ebzery, I think it was just load management. So these coaches are being really smart.
Absolutely. We're almost ready and set for tip-off here at Mackay. Quick tip, as per usual, Mish. Who are you tipping and how much by?
I'm sorry, Tracy York, but I'm going to go. She can't hear me right now.
She'll rewatch this, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully with the sound down. I'm going to go with Perth. I just think, they're bringing it back. So is Bendigo. Each game they're getting better, but I just think that Perth, they were really, really impressive against Melbourne, and I think they gave Melbourne a bit of a shock. So yeah, I'll go Perth by 8.
Perth by 8. I'm sort of leaning towards the same as well. I think Perth, they were very confident in their games against the Adelaide Lightning and the Melbourne Boomers. We all know they probably should have won both of those games, and the reasoning too, they're still a very inexperienced team under Ryan Petrick, but I do agree with you, Mish. I think Perth are going to get the chocolates tonight against Bendigo.
Yeah, for sure. And Ryan, he's doing a really, really good job with them. And, you know, he's thrown into the deep end. His first season as the Perth coach, and he's put in a hub like this. So it's not probably his dream start, but you know, they're getting better and better. So the Perth fans and the Perth club, they must be happy with that.
Absolutely. As we see both sides getting ready out on the floor now. For those who've just joined us for the first time, the starting fives are Goulding, Todd Hunter, Froling, Ernst, Levy for the Spirit, Garvin, Chepitone, Sharp, Ebzery and Edwards for the Lynx.
I'm really looking forward to the Ebzery-Levy matchup. I'm assuming they'll match up. And, you know, 2 opals, what's not to love about that?
So we get this one underway. Tip one by the Spirits, that headed up by the Lynx, and they're going to go into the forecourt to start this game off. And really looking forward to seeing one player in particular who's right there in front of us, Alex Sharp, play some good minutes tonight. She was fantastic, as we see the first shot off there from the Lynx, missed off there.
Yeah, she's really impressive. Last game she had 15 points and 13 boards, so she's a beast on the boards as well.
Ball with Edwards. Quick shot off there from Alex Sharp. Hits the rim. Good O there from Garvin, and they can reset again. Last touch there from the Spirit, and it will be a Lynx ball. It's
good offence and a good offensive rebound, but box out Bendigo. This is not a good start for them to get a straight up O board.
Ball back in the possession now of the Perth Lynx. Garvin, bit of aggression there, and it's going the way of the Spirits.
Wow, that was a big hit. She'll feel that one tomorrow.
Who was the offensive buy there? If you saw that there, Mish.
No,
Kate Ebzery.
I think it was Katie Ebzery. They're going to show it again here. Yeah.
Bit of a hip and shoulder there, AFL style.
Yeah, well, she's just, you know, showing Todd Hunter exactly where it's at right now.
She did miss the game on Monday night, so she's probably just laying off a bit of steam, that's for sure. Ball with Levy, good bounce pass. Over to Carly Ernst, and Ernst will get the first points of the evening, heading up the way of the Bendigo Spirits.
And I think that's a really good key for, I want to see Ernst get more inside rather than just stepping out to that 3-point line that she really likes. Sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone, especially in a scenario like this. You have to get out of your comfort zone and post up and maybe go to work. At 6'5", you need to get inside at times.
Chibitone with the reply for Lynx, and now the game is all tied up. Just seeing what the Spirit can do. 3-point opportunity gone off there. That was Todd Hunter. Missed there, crashed the boards beautifully. Was Ernst, passes back to Levy. Levy thinking going inside the key. She's on the free throw line. Good shot off there. Trying to get the O, and they do again successfully.
That's 2 O boards in a row for Bendigo. So both teams need to box out. I think I'm going to be harping about this all game.
And I think that's the one thing that Tracy York and even Amelia Todd Hunter, who we spoke to pre-game Monday, she says that getting those O-board rebounds are so important, especially for a young team like Bendigo. Levy, step back, shot, beautiful.
She loves those step backs, Levy, and she's so good at them.
Quick shot off there from the Lynx, missed it. Grab defensively from Carly Ernst. Quick drive down. There's Todd Hunter. She was also good on Monday night against the Caps, and the shot, will it count? See the replay again. I think it has counted, and I think it's on Katie Ebzery.
And you know, that's a really good start for Todd Hunter because she's 4.8% from the field. So she's 1 from 21 over 3 games. So she really needs to up that percentage. And this, I feel, is the game she can do it.
Ebzery off, Clark on. Probably good choice in the end. 2 fouls already to your name. That's not a good start for the leading point getter for the Lynx. As the Spirits, well, they've jumped out to an early lead here. Carly Ernst with 4 points, and she's 100% from the field so far tonight. Ball back into the hands of the Spirit. Missed shot there from the Lynx. Grabbed away by Chibitone. Chibitone over to Clark. Clark, good shot off calming the team down a little bit, and there was a bad turnover there from Todd Hunter.
Yeah, and these two teams, their last games, they had 16 turnovers for Bendigo and 20 turnovers for Perth. So they'll want to remedy that here if they want to get the win.
Quick pass off there was maybe a little bit too much power from Levy over to Froling. You would have hated that in those playing days for you, Mish. Those quick bounce passes, a bit too much power on them.
Yeah.
Especially when when you haven't woken up too much from it.
You got to make sure if you're going to bounce pass it to a big, you got to bounce it really hard so it comes up to their height.
Oh, beautiful from the Spirit, and they should easily make the Lynx pay. Good layup shot there, and they do through Tessa Levy.
And that's what Bendigo do very well. They do bust up the floor really well. So if they keep pushing like that, there'll be a good show here.
The pressure's been immense from the Spirit, and again, good defending. It's paying dividends. Quick drive from Levy, and momentum is with the team in gold and blue tonight.
Certainly is.
There's Ernst. She's got to fend off Garvin. Doesn't do so successfully.
That's great. That's what I wanted to see. So, yeah, good move. Keep her inside for a bit. Yeah, sure, she'll step out and shoot that three because that's what she does, but use her inside a bit more. And
a good screen there from Perth to get that 2 points there and to cut the margin back to 2. Chippertoni gained the points, yet Garvin, good screen there. Here's Levy. She's going to quickly shoot this one off. Spirit bench again rises. And it seems that every time the Spirit shoots, the bench rises, which I think is a good morale booster for especially a lot of Bendigo Academy kids. Here is Chippertoni. Kisses the glass, but that's okay.
Well, when I spoke to Tracy York yesterday, she actually said that this team gets along really, really well. Like, she's really pleased. There's no cliques and being on top of each other like they are. She just said, so far, so good.
That's
but
good.
We're only a week in, though.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's a team that Tracy York can definitely keep, especially with Kelly Wilson destined to come back into that Bendigo Spirit lineup next season too.
Well, hopefully she goes back to Bendigo. Who knows, though? They all seem to change teams a lot these days.
Well, fingers crossed that she can stay and sort of build something special with the Spirits. They've got such a really good academy down there. Perth getting only 1 of 2 from the free throw line. And the Spirit lead by 1. Good pass off to Goulding.
Really nice take.
Blocked off there by Stendhal, and they're away again, Perth. This is Chippertoni. Again, trying to go for another shot for her, and she couldn't do so.
That was a great take as well. So nice and strong, just took it to the basket really hard.
Bendigo, can they get one here? No, they can't. Couple opportunities from Ernst. Missed it. Rintala's in there, and she had to fend off 2 lengths just to try and get somewhere. You see the replay.
It looked like it came off a foot as well.
Came off Steindel's foot there. Is that what you saw in the replay there, Mish?
Yeah, definitely. So Kayla Steindl, it's interesting, her and Alicia Froling, they're taller than 6 foot, and neither of them in 3 games have been to the free throw line. So
that's a good stat, actually.
It is a good stat. Well, it's not really a good stat because, you know what, those 2 should be getting inside and drawing fouls and taking it to the hoop.
Well, hopefully they can do so tonight. There's Clark. She was fantastic with 8 and 8 on Monday night, and an easy bucket there for Darcy Garvin, and the Lynx take the lead back. They're now 9 points to 8 up with 4:20 left in the first. Ernst gets a shot off. Beautiful 3.
She didn't call it. She didn't say bank, so does it count?
she just went for it, and it went through. And Bendigo regained the lead, 11-9, 4 minutes left. Chippertoni, good shot off there from deep 2.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Ernst early in this game.
Levy trying to drive down, did so successfully. Stick with them. Goulding again.
Yeah,
Came off Carly Ernst, and she's 9 points already from 13.
If this keeps going, I think Ryan Petrick is going to need to call a timeout just to stem the bleeding a little.
Quick shot off there from Steindl, and it was a beautiful shot. Sort of, as you said, Mish, stem the bleeding just a little bit, cut the margin back to 2.
Yeah.
Here's Goulding for the Spirit. She's going to try and join the party. Can't do so. Rintala tried to get the O, failed to do so. Lynx mop up from defence. Advance with Sharp. Ball passed over to Steindl. She's got 2 Spirit to contend with. Garvin gets the O. 3-point opportunity. And that's much better from the Lynx.
Yeah, they seem to have steadied, so Ryan did the right thing not taking that time out. He didn't need to burn one. They steadied now.
Garvin getting the 3, puts the Lynx back in front. Bit of an entertaining start to this first quarter between both sides. Another 3 from the Spirits.
Wow. Carly Ernst is on fire. They're going to need to do something about that.
12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal from Carly Ernst. If you were to call the game now, she'd be the MVP of this game.
Unfortunately, there's 4 quarters, though.
And the Spirit, again, quick drive from Levy. This is what they love doing. Shot off here from Palvas. Hits the rim.
Palvas, another New Zealander, so Mary Goulding and Palvas, both New Zealanders. We've got a lot of New Zealanders in the league.
We do indeed.
All of the Melbourne Boomers.
Oh, beautiful steal there. And that came from Rintala over Levy. Could have done a lot better there, Tessa Levy.
Well, there were 3 Bendigo Spirits standing there. I think it was almost too easy for her.
Yeah, I think she got too comfortable when she shot that off there.
Make the degree of difficulty a little bit harder and she'll make that shot.
Ernst.
She loves that step through Darcy Garvin.
She does. She ties things up at 16 apiece. It's free-flowing basketball so far at Mackay, which is great to see. Palvas mops up beautifully off the glass into the bucket. And finally, Ryan Petrick has called timeout. He's like, I need to regroup the team here and see what we can do. It's 16 apiece though, Mish. Good start to this game.
Great start. Now, they've got to keep their turnovers down. So we've already got Perth at 3 turnovers. And it's still very, well, we're coming to the end of the first quarter. So, yeah, if they can keep those turnovers down, both teams actually, it'll stop looking quite as messy as it has. And offensive boards.
Yep.
Stop those offensive boards.
Absolutely. We'll look at the stats really, really quickly before we go into hopefully one of the huddles during this timeout. But Carly Ernst, you would say, is the player of the match so far. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Whereas Darcy Garvin, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist to her name too. So the Tors are really getting it done for both sides at the moment, aren't they?
And I thought that would be the case. And you say about Bendigo, if you can stop Carly Ernst and you can stop Tessa Levy, then you've probably stopped the Spirit. So I think that will be what Coach Petrick will be telling his troops. Will have told them beforehand anyway. That's what they need to do to win this game.
But it seems a lot of what Tracy York and even I said a little bit earlier pre-game we spoke to Amelia Todd Hunter on Monday. Crashing those O-boards, they're paying dividends for the Spirit so far in this game, and it's just a lot of consistency and everything's just working to a T.
Yeah, for sure.
As we restart this one.
I think this is as good as I've seen Bendigo come out of the blocks.
Clark. And a foul's been called, and it's Burrows who drew her foul there.
I've been really impressed with the Perth guards too. Like they're so young. Besides Katie Ray Ebzery, we've got Burrows and she's doing a great job, and Jewel Williams as well. They don't take a step back.
They don't.
Stand up.
Skinner's now on court for the Spirit. There's Levy. She's been fantastic so far. Jump shot here from McLean. Missed it. I think a bit too much power there for opportunity for a 3, but it wasn't a bad shot though from Cassidy McLean.
It was a great shot, and I'd like to see her have a really good season this season, coming back from that ACL injury. So yeah, she can really step up for them.
Under a minute left. Margin at 2, 18-16. Spirit lead this one. It's been a free-flowing game so far at Mackay. Both teams destined for their first win of the season. Bit short on the 3-point chance there from Garvin. Spirit mop things up. Here's Levy.
Garvin's only been shooting the 3 at 20%. So, and You know, she's got to take that, though, because she can shoot it, she can make it. And there's some pretty awesome D.
They're from the Lynx. Nels from Burrows. Garvin. Can they mop up here? They can. Williams. Can they keep possession? That's another question.
Paige Price has a big job here on Darcy Garvin. You know she's going to do that step through.
Oh, and Garvin too easy there.
Yeah, you've got to keep your feet there. But, you know, Paige Price worked really, really hard there. But it's just that step through. She'll do it every time.
And that's what Garvin's known for. Step through, gets the bucket, and now she can try and put the Lynx in front by 1 with the extra. Can't do so. However, Lynx get the O. And the last possession will go to the Spirits. Quick shot off there from Steinel, missed it. Can Levy deliver something beautiful here? And she draws her foul just in time. So we look at the replay here, Mish. Levy just got caught up by Emma Clark.
Yeah, she comes off really hard, and there might just have been a bit of a knee in there.
Unsportsmanlike's been called.
Oh, wow.
From Emma Clark.
Didn't see that coming.
And that's something that Ryan Petrick's not going to be happy with at quarter time. And that's something you definitely don't want to give away, because you're giving the Spirit the opportunity
Yeah,
to get this one.
it's a tough call. I think it was a very tough call.
We'd definitely like to know what the unsportsmanlike conduct was called for, as Levy puts the second in, puts the Spirits in front by 1, and Spirit get the ball back with 1 second left for one more chance. On the buzzer, bit short.
She tried to wheel that in. She was going sideways trying to get that one in, and you know, she's had an outstanding first quarter. Though.
And we're going to get the replay of the unsportsmanlike conduct very, very shortly. But the Spirits, as we see here, so yeah, I could sort of see the unsportsmanlike conduct there. It was a bit more like, it looked like Emma Clark was going for more the player than the ball.
Yeah, maybe.
In that opportunity, in that passage of play there.
All right, I'll give you that one.
19-18, Spirit lead this one by 1 point. Tracy York will she be so happy with this team right now. They played out of their socks in that first quarter. Ryan Patrick would also be pretty happy with the team display that Darcy Garvin is led by. 9 points, 4 rebounds, but Carly Ernst, she's still the player to watch. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal for the Spirits. As we look at the field goals here. So 8 from 21, 8 from 20, plus 2% in favour of the Lynx.
They're very similar in a lot of the stats at the moment. So and that's not a bad thing, and that's why it's 19 to 18. Using the screens.
Yeah, pick and roll with the screens. That's what I got out of Ryan Patrick. And what do you think Tracy York is saying to the Spirit right now?
Look, I think that they're going pretty well, and it'll just be the X's and O's, as in, you know, boxing out and back to basics. But look, they look pretty good, Bendigo. So she'll just be going, you know, let's just build on it. You know, get stops and keep building.
What we've been building for the last 3 games.
Yeah, for sure. You know, they've had some very big losses. You know, 42-point loss to the Flyers, a 37-point loss to Sydney, and a 20-point loss to the Cats. But they are bringing it back. So
absolutely.
One of these teams is going to finally get the W.
So restart this second. Spirit by 1. Shot off missed from Carly Ernst. And the one thing I also saw during the stats at quarter time, Mish, was that 4 turnovers to 3 in favour of the Lynx. So the turnover count hasn't been ridiculous yet, but we've seen over from other teams over the course of the season so far.
No, but if you get 4 turnovers in a quarter, you're going to end up with 16 for the game, which is way too many.
Quick pass here from the Lynx.
Good box out.
And good defending in the end. Good pressure from the Spirit. And
that was a nice box out from Todd Hunter.
She'll bring the ball back in from the sideline. And she'll find Levy. One of the more experienced players in this Spirit lineup, Tessa Levy.
The Bendigo Spirit really like that horn set and then getting...
It's almost like the 3-on-1 inside the key.
Yeah, and then getting Ernst on that flare to the three-point line.
Quick shot off from Clark. Puts the Lynx back in front by 1 point.
She's pretty impressive too, Clark.
Shooting 9 of 23 compared to the Spirit's 8 from 23. So they're still a bit even between both sides in the early stages of this one. Levy to Ernst, back to Levy. She's at Skinner. Here's Carly Ernst. 3-point opportunity. She scored 2 of them in the first quarter. Miss on that end. Todd Hunter. Can Ernst go again? She's trying to drill Williams in. Couldn't do so. Drove to the net. And the foul's been called.
And it's good that Ernst is mixing it up. Yes, she shot a couple of threes, but she took it to the basket there. And it just keeps the D honest. They don't exactly know what she's going to do right now.
As we see, as we like to call it, Mish, some hockey subs coming through from both sides.
You do love the hockey subs.
3 in, 3 out, as they say.
And hockey subs in this environment when we're in a hub and we got games every second day, hockey subs are good.
Yeah. Clark gets the first. And comes off. And the ball will head back to the way of the Lynx. They lead this one by 2. Ebzery's back on the floor now for the Lynx. She's thoroughly missed on Monday night. Some could have said they would have beaten the Boomers.
And that's an awesome take, you know. Tessa Levy was in her pocket and she's just gone, I don't care if you're an opal. I'm going to take it to you.
Yep. As the Spirit get the bucket back through Paige Price, and that's one girl you'll definitely be keeping an eye out. And again, coast-to-coast stuff there from the Lynx. Tracy York calling things, and Kate Esbury, it's her first points of the evening, 2 points for her. She's shooting at 50%.
Of many more to come, I think.
Fingers crossed. Well, you look at Katie's stats so far this season, Mish. She is averaging 16 points per game, 2.5 rebounds and assists, and shooting from 34.3% from the field.
Yeah, look, she's impressive, and I would believe that she will be in that Opals team for the Olympics next year.
Bondello is in Queensland.
I don't think she's quite in Queensland yet. She's 3rd of December, I think she arrived at Townsville.
I thought she was already there, sort of scouting early before December. But she's going to come up for the latter part. She'll be able to sort of keep her finger on the pulse, though. She'll be watching us. She's quarantining, so she'll be seen in a hotel room. She's quarantining. She's watching these games very closely. She's writing out a list of players that she's potentially going to be choosing to take with her to Tokyo next year.
Well, we don't want to really sway her if she's listening.
Absolutely.
This is only my opinion, Sandy.
I thought you were going to call out to her and go, I think you should choose this player.
She's not going to listen to me.
25-21. Lynx lead this one. 3-point opportunity for the Spirit. Missed it.
Great box out from Eisenbarger too. So I'd like to see a little more from Alicia Froling. She's been pretty quiet. She's only averaging 4 points a game. She does do a lot of the hard stuff, but yeah.
Oh, beautiful there from the Spirit. Quick 2. They took advantage of the Teo Burrows foul. Margin back at 2, 7:26 left in the second. Here was Ebzery. Over to Burrows, back over to Ebzery. Can't improve on the 2 points. She's now 1 from 3 from the field. Ball with Todd Hunter. And Bendigo again, Goulding, 3, beautiful.
There was nice ball movement too, and that's what happens. You make that defense shift, and you know then it has to be a hard closeout to get to that shot.
And it was Mary Goulding. She shoots her first 3 of the evening. She's up to 5 points now. And good defending there from the Spirit, and they might be able to take advantage if they can keep possession. Levy to Price. They're keeping it at bay here. Froline over to Todd Hunter. Kisses the glass back into the breadbasket to Eisenbarger, and they're back in possession here, the Lynx. Here is Ebzery. Shot off from the Lynx. Going to get a 3. They can't. Through Steindl.
And she can shoot that 3. There's no way she should ever get that free. Somebody needs to be covering that.
And they're really racking up the D rebounds, aren't they, in this one, Bendigo? Up to 12 alongside the Lynx. Both on 18. Another 3 from the Spirits.
Nice from Amelia Todd Hunter. That's what she needs to do. Get some confidence, make some baskets, and increase that field goal percentage.
I will say, though, the continuity with the 3 points in the Spirit is starting to come a bit clearer. They're 4 from 11 so far from outside the arc, whereas the Lynx have only scored 1 of 9, 11% so far from the 3-point range. But that was a fantastic 3, though, from Todd Hunter. We see the replay of the foul picked up there.
Just used her arm, fended off.
You think it's a bit of frustration there, Mish?
Possibly. It's a pretty cheap foul, really.
Ernst back on. Probably the one thing the Lynx didn't need at this point in time. Todd Hunter, can she go again for another 3? Oh, she missed just.
I really like Goulding, the way she gets that penetration, opens up the floor, finds the open man.
Ebzery trying to go by herself, and she almost completed the play. But again, just the defensive rebounds and the defending from the Spirit has just been fantastic so far in these games tonight. There's Ernst trying to go for another 3 opportunity. She could have gone up to 15 in that points.
I think that both teams really need to tidy their defense up. There's too many easy shots, way too many easy shots.
Good screen there from Ernst for Levy. Didn't do much in the end. And they're going to try again with Ernst. She's got 1 to contend with. Step back. Missed it. Garber did well to keep her composure. And away is Eisenbarger. She's going to drive, which she does beautifully. They're going to try as many things as possible, Lynx. Stop the momentum of the Spirit. Can they do so through Chibatoni? And they do.
That's pretty smart, posting up Chibatoni. She's got Tessa Levy on her, a bit of a height difference there, and she just went to work.
Chibatoni up to 7 points now, 3 from 5 from the fields this evening. Lynx looking a little bit cleaner from the field, 12 of 29. 3-point opportunity again for the Spirits. And that's come from Tessa Levy. So she wants to join in on the party, and she does so with her first 3 of the evening.
Bit of a free-for-all at this stage.
3. Oh, I get it now. 3 for all. That's good from you, Mish. I like that. He was shot off from the Lynx. And that was from Ebzery. She gets the 2, and she can try and hopefully complete the 3-point play here, Mish.
Yeah, so you do want to contain that, but if she gets around you need better help, do you? Because she will finish that off. She looks like she's got a bit more of a spark in her step after resting the last game. I don't know whether they should have or not, as they came so close to Melbourne. They may have actually got Melbourne if Ebzery played.
She gets the extra, and I said to Bianca Dufresnoy, who's my expert on Monday night, if Ebzery was in the side, not having Tess Madgen, I would have believed the Lynx could have upset the Boomers on Monday night. They were very close in passages there. It was very short from the Spirit. However, I think Chibatoni's foot was just out of bounds, and the referee calls it in favour of the Spirits. Then again, you could have pressed and gone, okay, if Madge was playing for the Boomers, they probably would have beaten the Lynx by maybe 10 or so because of the 16 points that she normally averages per game.
Yeah, and Madgen didn't play tonight, and I think
that the Boomers struggled without her leadership.
We'll definitely talk more about the Boomers capitulating at half-time against the Capitals. Capitals with a statement win, that was for sure. Big pass off here. Over to Chibatoni for 3.
And that was really smart. So Chibatoni dished it in, got it inside to Darcy Garvin. She didn't just stand there, she relocated outside the 3-point line to get that nice pass. And that was tough. It's tough to close out that.
And she had so much space there too. She took her time, and for all money, she banked on it. Here is Carly Ernst. A bit too much power on there for Mary Goulding. And they've turned the ball over, and it'll be the Lynx ball.
Yeah, just a little bit of a communication issue there. It happens.
Yep. Spirit are playing really well though, Mish. They might have, like, they've dropped off in passages, but for the most part, they've been really consistent.
I think both teams have played pretty well so far. Just if they can tidy up their D, then, you know, we've got a good game on our hands.
Absolutely. McLean with her second foul of the evening. Be Clark to bring the ball back in for the Perth Lynx. And they trail this one by 1, 34-33. Spirit lead this one. 3:05 left in the second. Chibatoni gets the ball back from Garvin. Good bounce pass over to Ebzery. And there were 2 Spirit inside the key there, and Ebzery drew her foul beautifully.
That was great help, D, from Rintale, except she just put her hands in. She should have just put her hands up and not put her hands in. And that
straight away, you saw the smirk on her face. She's like, oops, I've done something wrong here. And the onus was on her as the Lynx can reset. They do so. Ebzery, so much space, and she's up now. She puts the Lynx back in front, and she's up to 7 points for the game so far. 7, 2, and 1 are her stats tonight, Katie Ebzery. Quick shot off here from the Spirit. Another 3 opportunity gone beckoning.
Okay, they've got to get a hand to that. You can't, like, half go under screens. You've got to respect the player more than that.
Steindl, Ebzery for 3.
She's coming to her own, Ebzery now.
And Tracy Yorker's like, I've had enough. We're calling a timeout. We need a reset.
Yeah, she stepped it up in the second quarter, Ebzery, and you really don't want her getting away from it.
No. Especially if she's shooting buckets like that.
She comes off screens really, really well. And Bendigo have to get over those screens. They have to. You can't allow a player like that. You can't get caught up on a screen.
Absolutely. You can't do that at all. Ryan Petrick, he'd be very happy with how they've gone so far. 20-15 so far in this quarter.
It's a bit of a seesawing event. So,
were you expecting it to be this close?
Well, I was. Yeah, I was. So, you know, they're very similar in their stats, in their field goal percentages, in their free throws.
And it's an 8-0 run in favour of the Lynx so far. So Bendigo have given up the last 8 points of this game.
Tracy's got a new coaching board there, and I told her it was the lucky coaching board. I'm unashamedly advertising.
Did you give it to her?
Yes.
There you go. Was that sort of like a parting gift before she headed up to North Queensland?
No, I actually sent it up to her.
Ah. You're going, here, Trace, I think you might need this. This will get you some wins.
Yeah, I told her it's the winning board, and so it was an agreement that you get the board and you have to talk to me when I want when I need info.
Spirit giving up the last 8 points in this one. Quick drive there. Good block, though, from the Lynx. And that was Steindl. Kayla Steindl with a fantastic block on Tessa Levy. And again, that's her second block as we see the replay. Good drive, though, from Levy. Yet Kayla Steindl read her like a book. Unfortunately, the chap didn't end well for Tessa Levy in this one.
That was actually not a bad foul in the end because it halted the play because they were out on a fast break. Ebzery was ready to go. Although
here we go.
Foul trouble, so she's going to the line, so maybe it wasn't all that good.
Lynx in the bonus now. Ebzery. This is the first. And that's the one thing you don't want to do as a young team either, is put your opponents in the bonus, especially when you're down by 4. And someone as reliable as Ebzery's shooting knows. She missed the first, but she got the second.
She's actually only shooting 57.1 from the free throw line.
Pretty good, actually.
Which is, from the free throw line, 57.1. That's not good.
It's a passable mark.
No, 80.
Oh.
Passable mark.
But that's a uni thing, high distinction for you. It's always high distinction from the line.
No, 80%. You got to aim for 80 or more.
Chibatoni, Ebzery kissing the glass and going in, and she's up to 13 points for the game so far. Well, we said Carly Ernst was probably the one to be stopped in the first quarter. Now Katie Ebzery is going to be the one to be stopped in the second quarter. She's on fire. Here's Palvas. Over to Rintala. Rintala just stands the bleeding just a little bit, cuts the margin back to 5.
Once again, it just looks too easy. The defense are getting caught up on picks.
Here's Steindl in space again. Ebzery. Oh. So good to see her shooting like that. She's up to 15 points for the game. She's shooting 67% from the field. Is that much better for you, Mish?
Yeah, that's better. 67% from the field is.
You'll take that instead. You'll take that instead of the free throws.
That's right.
Here is Garvin. 43-36. Lynx lead this one by 7. Shot off there from the Lynx, missed it. And there was Ebzery trying to go for 17 points. She couldn't do so in the end, and her percentage has dropped to 60% now.
So it's only a 6-point game, but I'd be really concerned for Tracy York about Ebzery at the moment. She's someone needs to step up and say, hey, I'm going to stop you.
Levy to Palvas, over to Ernst. She can't get there. It was very short, hits the glass and back into the breadbasket at Lynx.
She doesn't like to put body on body, but I think she really needs to. Early when she was actually taking it inside, she looked really good.
She did. In that first quarter, she looked really good. Chibatoni with a bounce pass to Ebzery. 1-on-1. Goes past Rintala, goes past 2 more Spirits. And the shot clock expired, unfortunately, for the Lynx. However, the Spirits, with 3.2 seconds left, get the final possession of the play and hopefully can put a bucket in before halftime.
That's the first time we've had the shot clock go off, I think. Yeah, they're getting early shots, both teams.
Levy from half court. She was a bit adventurous there, as per usual. However, couldn't be so. So the Lynx lead this one by 7 points at halftime, 43-36. And the 2 plays we'll be talking about during the halftime show will be Katie Ebzery as well as Carly Ernst. Back here at WNBL HQ, and it is the Lynx leading this one by 7 points, 43-36. Katie Ebzery is showing why she would definitely be in the 2021 Opals team heading to Tokyo. Michelle Gubbles is my expert tonight, and she joins me. Mish, your summation of the first half.
Yeah, I've been really impressed. First quarter, I think it was definitely Carly Ernst. Everything was Carly Ernst. She was inside, she was outside, she was really doing it all. Fantastic. So I think they need to go more inside to Carly, and yeah, but she's got to step out, she's got to take those threes and make sure that that they're respecting her inside and outside. Then the second quarter, that was definitely Katie Ray Ebzery's. She was brilliant, really brilliant, and someone has to step up and stop her.
And the inexperience again of the Bendigo Spirit. We've got to talk about this all night because, you know, Tracy York, she's second year in the WNBL. She's got this Bendigo Academy. She's got all these kids coming through. They're being thrown into the deep end just a little bit, but they're sticking with the Perth Lynx in this one.
Yeah, well, having said that, you know, Perth Lynx are in the same boat. They've got young players as well. So everyone is in the same boat here. it's not just one team or the other team. It's all teams have young players, and it's good to see that they're all getting out on the floor and all putting their 2 cents worth.
We'll see some of the highlights from this first half, and it was pretty much almost a tale of 2 teams. Bendigo had it all in the first quarter, but it was all Lynx in the seconds.
Certainly was, and look, I don't think we'll see anything different. I think Katie Ray Ebzery, it's lucky that it's half time now, so that Bendigo can have a bit of a chat about what they're going to do there.
Absolutely. As we look at the other game that happened earlier tonight, and it was a convincing win from the Capitals against the Boomers. And as you said during the call there, Mish, the one player in particular I think the Boomers are saying to miss right now is Tess Madgen.
Yeah, Tess Madgen. Look, I watched a little bit of the Boomers game, and I just think that, without Tess Madgen out there, the Boomers just looked really lost. Really lost. They had to get subs in. They got Rach Antoniadou in early, and Rachel Brewster hasn't seen much court time, but he clearly had to find an answer somehow from someone.
And I think the one play in particular that is starting to spin heads in the 2020 Chemist Warehouse WNBL season is 18-year-old Jade Melbourne.
Yeah, I think she had 20 points, and I've got to be honest, when the first game I commentated and Paul Goris, he started Jade Melbourne, I was looking going, what are you doing? And you know what? He knew exactly what he was doing.
Absolutely, he was. Again, the Capitals defeating the Melbourne Boomers in that one. As we go back to the game at hand right now between the Lynx and the Spirit, if you were Tracy York, what would you be saying to the girls at halftime?
I'd be saying you need to push it up the floor. One, we need to stop Ebzery in defence, but we need to keep pushing it up the floor. Both sides need to clean up their defence, they really do. There's too many easy shots.
Absolutely. From the field, we see really quickly 34% to 49%. So the Lynx were a little bit more cleaner from the fields, especially in that second quarter. 3 points, though, still going the way of the Spirit, and they had those early threes, courtesy of Ernst. Tessa Levy got through. Mary Goulding also shot a 3-pointer too. But the free throws is something you always love looking at from both sides here, Mish.
I certainly do. And this is right across the league, actually. I personally am unhappy with the free throw percentages. That should be above 80%. This is a shot that is not guarded. You can practice that every day. And 50% for Bendigo and 57% for the Lynx. So, you've got to make free throws win your games.
Absolutely. And Carly Ernst, well, she was the star of the first quarter. 12 points to her name in that first quarter. 14 all up so far. She's going to be definitely one to stop.
Yeah, and as I said before, she just needs a little bit more inside-outside action. Post up, but when she posts up, she needs to actually put body on body and get an easier shot rather than a fadeaway and still take those threes. We haven't seen as much horns from Bendigo as we normally do.
Absolutely.
So maybe that was...
She looked a little bit timid going that body on body in that second quarter in a couple of passages.
Yeah, and that's not her game. She doesn't want to put body on body, and everybody knows that about Carly Ernst.
And also, if we look at Perth Lynx as well, Chibatoni's been fantastic as well, which is another player that they're going to be looking at as well for the Perth Lynx, and I think Sandy Blondella might look at her too. She's had a fantastic start to the season too.
She has, and she was playing in Italy last year, so she's just come back and she just seems to have slotted in so well, really well. So I'm looking for more from her now, but yeah, she's a good, solid body out there.
Ebzery, 60% from the field tonight, 6 of 10. Good numbers?
60%, yeah, from the field, definitely.
Because normally you'd be kissing the 40 to 45% from the field generally, but 60% tonight. Her first game back, she didn't play on Monday night against the Boomers, but it's good to see her back doing what she does best. For
sure, and having said that, she's getting lots of easy shots. She really is there. So they got to up the D and maybe even look at some double teams on her, just really and deny it, keep the ball out of her hand. That's it.
I will say, though, is that Perth, they had 2 winnable games against Adelaide and Melbourne. They blew both of them just after leading in the third quarter. What have you made of both team seasons so far? They're both still looking for that first W.
I think it's really hard to say that they blew those games because I think they did really well, and Adelaide's a good unit, and they only lost to them by 5 points and gave it a really good crack. And you know, we've got Steph Talbot going absolutely nuts. Like she leads the league in scoring, she leads the league in blocks, she leads the league in steals. She also leads the league in turnovers, but we won't mention that one.
We'll ignore that bit.
But you know, she's insanely good, and I hope with Adelaide isolating at the moment, they're back on the floor from Monday. I hope it doesn't like curb their momentum as well, and especially for Steph Talbot because she came out so brilliantly. I hope she can just continue along.
Absolutely. As we look at some of the highlights from the Lynx' 6-point loss, they were up by as much as 8 against the Boomers in this one on Monday night, which I called alongside Bianca Dufamai. And this game was just entertaining from start to finish, even though the Boomers, and I think the stat I actually told you off air was that out of the 46 shots from outside the arc, only 5 made it in, and they were all from the Perth Lynx on Monday nights.
And the Perth Lynx actually only shot at 19% from the 3-point line. So they must have taken a lot of 3-pointers in, if that's a stat.
So, Mish, the one thing in particular you've been looking at over the course of the 2020 WNBL Chemist Warehouse season is the Youth League players. So tell us a little bit about some of the players that you've kept your eye on over the course of the season so far.
So the Youth League, for those that don't know, it is an under 23 person that has to win this. So Ezzy Magbagor has won it twice already, and she is actually eligible again. So she's only 21, so she's eligible again. So she's going to be a big front runner for that award. Then we've also got. We've got to look at Maddie Rocci.
She's been good in the
she's been fantastic, and we've
absence of like Griffin, Tapaya.
She's stepped up, and I think her breakout season was actually last season, and she's just continued on, and she certainly deserves that opal spot that she's got. And there's also Jade Melbourne. She's up and in the running now.
She's the dark horse, that's for sure.
She is, and she's only 18. So,
do you think at the moment, the way she's been playing, Sandy Bondella would definitely be putting her in that lineup heading to Tokyo next year?
I'm not saying anything that Sandy Bondella is definitely doing.
Oh, come on, Mish. You've got to give us an early prediction here. You've got to give us something.
Look, I don't know because they've got prep, like they've had a bit of the group together, and I think throwing in a young body, maybe just for an extra number, I don't know, but you know, maybe definitely look at her for the FIBA World Cup, which is in Sydney. But we've also got another, like I can't, the youth player of the year, I can't not mention Shyla Hill.
Yep.
So she is just outstanding at the moment for Townsville. And once again, this isn't her breakout season. I think last season was her breakout season with Bendigo.
And last night's game was thoroughly entertaining from start to finish between the Fire and the Flames.
Yeah, and I think she adds a bit of excitement value to any team she plays with. She can shoot it outside, and taking it to the basket, she just does it with such ease, and she's just really pretty to watch.
Is there any other players in particular that you've looked at this season that you might put in there as potentials?
Then we've got, look, Annalie Maley, she's a beast on the board.
Double-double last night.
Yeah, and you know, if she can tidy up a little bit more of her offense, but you know, she's a great player, and I think she's just going to get better and better. But I just love watching her board. It's, you know, and teams actually trying to keep her off the boards.
As we look at the top stat scorers for both sides, Carly Ernst, we've spoken about her 12 first quarter points. She's up to 14 for the game. Katie Asbury had a great second quarter. Chippertoni and 10 of her own. And Darcy Garvin for 9. And then, of course, Tessa Levy, 8 of her own for the Spirit. Are you going to change your tip? Do you think Spirit might come back in this one? Or do you think the Perth is still going to get a W?
Why ask me that? You can't change your tip halfway through.
You could, actually, if you wanted to.
No, I'm sticking with it. Why would I change my tip? Perth are up. Goodness me.
Second half action, not too far away for this one between the Spirit and the Lynx. Lynx leading this one by 7 points, 43-36. Oh, it's going to be a good second half. I can feel it between these two teams. Both looking for their first W of the 2020 Chemist Warehouse WNBL season. Both still trying to find it. Lynx have been a lot closer than what the Spirit have, that's for sure. As we kickstart the second half, and almost a quick turnover there from the Lynx. And, well, I spoke too soon because there was a turnover then and there.
There's that double straight up that I was talking about on Ebzery, and that's perfect. Well done, Tracy York. That's smart.
It's a good start, that's for sure. Froling over to Goulding to Levy to Todd Hunter. Good bounce pass, trying to find Carly Ernst.
She just needed a better angle there, Todd Hunter. She should have dribbled it out on the left and got a better angle into Carly Ernst there.
They can reset here to Spirit from quick out. Here is Levy. Quick drive to the net, layup shot, missed it, went through two Lynx.
That was so good from Levy, though. She had that hesitation, saw there was a big on her and just took it to the basket. It didn't finish off well, but it was a great move.
Clark, get the ball back from Garvin. That's another player I've been looking forward to watching as we see a shot off here from Emma Clark. 8-8 last on Monday against the Boomers. So she's another young player, exciting player to watch so far in this season. Goulding, Levy, trying to find Goulding, and Goulding was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, she just took her eyes off the ball, so...
Tessa was not having any of it. 8:49 left in the third. The 2020 Chemist Warehouse WNBL season.
So Todd Hunter has been given the job on Ebzery now, which leaves Tessa Levy on Darcy Garvin, which it's a big mismatch, and Perth need to hit that mismatch every single time.
If you look at the replay, it was a bit too much for both Froling and Levy because Darcy Garvin gets the bucket and she'll try and convert the extra to make it a double-digit lead, which she does successfully, 10 points. And she's up to 12 of her own. I think they just need to be poised and calm and collected around here. You don't do stuff like that, especially when Kayla Steindl is in the way. She was in the right place at the right time. Garvin, over to Steindl. Quick shot off there from Garvin. 3-point opportunity.
That's a nice shot.
And it was Sharp, actually, I should say, not Garvin.
Tessa Levy is working so hard in defence on Darcy Garvin inside. She's going to be exhausted.
49-36, 13 points in favour of the Lynx. Good bounce pass. Quick shot off there from Froling. Missed it.
And that's her thing, her little baby hook. I've seen her do it time and time again, and she probably needs to do it a bit more.
Sharp. We'll see that ball go out, and was last touched by Amelia Todd Hunter and Alex Sharp. She can bring the ball back in. So we'll see quick subs there. Look at the replay. Wasn't too much in that, was it, Mish?
I don't think so.
Sharp to Ebzery, back over to Alex Sharp.
But they look like they're sitting in a zone now.
3-point opportunity when begging there for Clark. And they've mopped up defensively the Spirits. They just need an early bucket just to calm things down a bit, and they can through Demi Skinner.
They really needed that score, Bendigo. It was just getting a little bit too far away from them.
Quick shot off there from the Lynx, missed it. Crashed the boards with Darcy Garvin. Overhead shot, missed it. Todd Hunter, right place at the right time. She's up to 4 O boards right now, Darcy Garvin.
See, Perth are now out rebounding Bendigo 28-24.
Missed shot there from Todd Hunter. She had to contend with a bigger body, a taller body, I should say. Their way through Ebzery. And a bit of contact, and fortunately Alex Sharp drew her foul beautifully, and she was caught in like a Bendigo sandwich there, Mish.
She was.
You'll see the replay.
It's good desperation from Tessa Levy, though. I love the way she plays D. She works so hard. And if there are any young kids watching, you know, that's how you play D, with that dogged kind of spirit.
Lynx. Here is Chibatoni. She had a good second quarter as well.
Fantastic ball movement. And that's Chibatoni. She penetrated. She got it inside to Garvin, who then kicked it out. Awesome ball movement and ends up with a 3.
And Ebser is now up to 18 points for the game. Her averages are going to pop up and they're going to go up by the end of tonight the way she's playing at the moment. Good screen there from Ernst. Can they go for a quick drive? They can't do so. Turned over. Lynx. Again, mop up beautifully, working in tandem. Chibatoni finding the tall one in Garvin. There was Levy there, and fortunately for Ebser, she wasn't there at the right place at the right time. But Tessa Levy with us as we look at the replay. Good defending though from Carly Ernst in that sequence.
Yeah, she just kept her hands straight up. She did all the right things.
Timeout called.
And you know when Carly Ernst puts her hands up straight, you got a 6'5"
Yep.
head, and then plus her arms, I think they're another 6'5".
So margin at 14, 52-38. Under 6 minutes left in the third. Chemist Warehouse WNBL 2020 season. Up in beautiful Mackay tonight for this one.
Yeah, it's the final game in Mackay, so there's no more games in Mackay. It'll just be split between Townsville. Most of the games are in Townsville,
And
but
then the other one, Cairns.
yeah.
It's good for the locals too.
Again, if they switch it and put it walk inside, that's fine. Then play 4 out 1 in, hit your 1 inside. Go.
What'd you pick up from that miss from Ryan Petrick?
Gee, that music's loud. That's what I picked up. He was talking about, you know, going under screens, and yeah, it's. And then he was talking about a scenario where they might go to 4 out 1 in, and I think that that's a good move. If Darcy Garvin is in and they play 4 out, that gives her space, room to move, space to work.
And they can reset. Can the Lynx? Rintalo on, Ernst off. There's Garvin. She's got to contend with Skinner.
Yeah, very smart from Perth.
She drew a foul beautifully.
They started in like a 5 out, and then she took a dive to the low block and, you know, get it inside to her, let her go to work. She had a bit of a quiet game last game. I think she only had like 4 points. So she'll want to improve on that. She'll definitely want to make the, and she is. She's having a good one.
Garvin up to 14 points, 7 rebounds, so she's on track for the double-double tonight. And the margin has ballooned to 16 in favour of the Lynx. Rintala to Levy. 3-point opportunity for the Spirits. Not bad off the shot. It's just all Lynx in the end. And they can mop up from defence, which they do beautifully. Chibatoni. Good pass over to Sharp.
Paige Price has played some good minutes for Bendigo, and she's a good, strong body. She's only 17 years old, and you know she's stepping up.
And a good 3 there from Kayla Steindl. She's up to 5 now for the game. 5, 9, 3, 2, and 2. So she's been everywhere tonight, Kayla Steindl. That's just the nature of it. Rintala. Bit of miscommunication again between her and Todd Hunter, and they've turned the ball over.
Looked like it almost came off Ebser.
I think that was what she was intending from the replay.
Yeah, she just dragged her hand back quick enough.
And it's just that's just the frustration and inexperience of this Spirit team, isn't it, Mish, at the moment? Quick shot off there from Garvin, missed it. Sharp trying to go for the tap in. Spirit can mop up. They just need something to spark him. Quick shot off.
I'm just wondering who's playing D on Todd Hunter.
She had
besides nobody.
She had all space in the world.
She almost had too much time. That's probably why she airballed it.
Ball in the reliable hands. Good steal there from Todd Hunter. Left Ebzery high and dry, but she couldn't finish it off.
That's a great pass from Levy.
And they've just mopped up again. And it's almost like if the Spirits are very, very close to getting the bucket, it's just that one or two Lynx players are just back inside the key to mop things up as quickly as possible. Quick pass off. Here's the shot from, again.
Yeah, look, this is...
Ebzery's game.
This is getting out of Bendigo's reach now.
21 points for Katie Ray Ebzery. What can you say though, Mish?
I can say that Bendigo don't want another big loss. That's
No.
what I can say.
And it's hurting them right now because they're 11-0.
They haven't
Behind.
had a good start to the second half.
No.
So somebody needs to step up for Bendigo now and say, hey, enough is enough. We need to try and turn this around now.
And the margins are 22. And the Lynx, while they were hungry for those 2 wins they could have had against the Lightning and the Boomers, at the moment they're just making a meal of the Spirits. Chibatoni. Quick pass off. Good tap from...
That's a pretty ambitious pass from Chibatoni into Eisenberger.
And Clark finishes it off, and it's 24 points now.
See,
Levy for 3. Can she get it?
Perth will want to try and, get this out as far as they can, so then maybe they can give Darcy Garvin a bit of a rest. Maybe they can give Katie Ray Ebzery a bit more of a rest.
Well, they're 16 to 53 from the field tonight, Bendigo, 30%. Whereas the Lynx, they're at 49, 24-49. Carly Owens picking up her first foul of the game. Unfortunately for Ebzery, she couldn't make them pay.
So that's still, her free throw shooting is not really improving here from that 57.1% she's averaging.
She gets that one at least. 25 points now, the margin in favour of the Lynx.
So that would put her at 50%.
At a university-style level, that's a pass mark. And I'll take that one. Levy, can she stem the bleeding a little bit? She can't. And again, Clark was in the right place at the right time. Chibatoni had no one to go, had no one in front of her. She drove that one. And mopped up again is the Spirit for Carly Ernst.
I think Ryan Petrick would be very, very happy with what Perth are doing right at the moment. What he gave them in the timeout before they executed and got score from it straight away.
Lynx, Clark driving, went past Palvas and made that look too easy.
Nice finish. And Bendigo just look really tired now, a bit dejected. But what I really like from Perth is their ball movement, their penetration, and like that pass that Ebzery just gave cross-court. They find the open man so well.
Here's Levy. Quick shot off there from McLean. Very short on the threes.
They're on the run again.
Mop up again by Chibatoni. And just making it look too easy there. Could have ended up there was Ebzery.
She'll be disappointed she missed that. She's made much harder buckets than that.
She could have got that for all money. 9 times out of 10. Fortunately, she's at 1 out of 10.
I reckon I could have got that. Oh, well, maybe not.
Here's Levy. It's a 16-0 scoring run in favour of the Lynx. And the Spirit finally end the hoodoo.
She looked down for that three-point line just to make sure she was behind it.
And it was Shavana Palvas with the first three-pointer.
You got to shoot that close to the three-point line. You may as well make it a 3.
Margin back at 24. So some consolation there from the Spirits. And that's much better from Ernst. See the replay here. And that's exactly what you need from someone as experienced as Carly Ernst to do stuff like that. Sort of stop the momentum of the Lynx a little bit there, Mish.
Yes. So they've pulled out Tessa Levy for a bit. I think she was just getting really frustrated out there. And rightly so.
Lynx sink to 2. 26 points to margin, 35 seconds left in the third. Britton to Goulding.
Swing the ball, swing the ball. They need better ball movement, Bendigo.
That's much better from Ernst.
It is much better, but you got to swing the ball. It can't get stuck in your hand and you hold it for that long. It was a good shot in the end, but they could have got better ball movement.
The last possession of the third will go to the Lynx. They were on a 16-0 scoring run at one point in time. Here we go, quick shot off there. Is it going to make it? No, it's not. And time expires, and the Lynx, well, it was a close contest in that first half. However, it's ballooned out to 23, and it's now mission impossible for Tracy York and the Bendigo Spirits.
I think Tracy York will be really disappointed with what's going on out there. And on the other hand, I think Coach Petrick will be clapping his hands. And I honestly can't see them being headed at the moment. Perth will win this.
There we go. A 24-8 run in that third quarter alone. As we said, 16-0 the Lynx were at one point in time as well.
Yeah, and with it this far out, I'd be surprised if we see Tessa Lavey again. She works so hard offensively and defensively, and it might be just smart of Coach.
Call her a night.
Yeah, and just rest her up now. Yeah, because it's. I'm not quite calling it, but I'm pretty close to calling it, but it's done and dusted. Some
of the leading scorers for both teams. Carly Ernst leading with 17 points. Tessa Lavey with 8. However, the Lynx, Katie Evsbury with 22, Darcy Garwood 14, and Alex Cipottone with 10. Yeah, they've had some,
Perth have had some really good contributors, whereas once you get past Ernst scoring her 17, it falls away to Lavey and then very low single figures. So they just, somehow Bendigo needs to find a way to get more players into scoring positions.
Absolutely, again, looking at that. And the one thing in particular I'm looking forward to seeing as well, Darcy Garvin, she's one rebound away from securing a double-double tonight.
And I think she'll get it.
Yeah, quite comfortably.
Yeah, unless Coach Petrick decides that he's going to rest her. But let her get a double-double and then do that.
As we look at Kayla Steindl, she's up to 10 rebounds. She's got 5 points. She could also maybe secure a double-double tonight. Kayla Steindl, she can get 5 points in this last.
It's quite possible. She's a great player, Steindl.
We kickstart the final 10 minutes of this one.
So we've got the Perth Lynx at 36% from the three-point line, and it's 33% for Bendigo. So that's not the problem. It's not the three-point shooting.
They've been good from outside the arc, the Spirits. We start this final quarter. Lynx by 23.
Good, faked the handoff and took it to the basket, but you got to finish off.
Good bop up here from the Lynx. Burrows sharp, back to Burrows. Quick shot off here from the Lynx, missed it. Mopped up by Goulding. She's been good tonight. Parvas had to contend with Isenbarger. It'll be the Spirits bring the ball back in from the baseline. Goulding stinging for the quick shot off. She might try and shoot off again. However, she's drawn a foul beautifully. And that's exactly what the Spirit needed there, Mish.
And they needed to make these two free throws. But look, they've got to try something different, Bendigo. But it's good to see other players trying to get into the game, trying to become scorers, because I think that's what they're lacking. It's almost like they know that they're a renowned team for having Tessa Lavey score and having Carly Ernst score, and then the rest don't step up. So I'm hoping this now makes them kind of realise, hey, we actually need to step up, because otherwise teams are just going to guard those two.
Got the first, missed the second. Lynx mopped up. And another beautiful three there from Isenbarger. That's her first of the evening. Lynx out to 25.
Perth are looking pretty good.
They're going to get the monkey off the back tonight in Mackay. Parvas gets one back for the Spirit, cuts it back to 23. Almost a turnover there from the Lynx.
She's got a good hand in there.
There we go. That's much better from the Spirits. Goulding trying to go all the way. She had a running mate there in Cassie McLean. She couldn't finish it off. And again, a 2-on-1 advantage of the Spirits. Carly Ernst was in the right place at the right time. There's Britton. Back to Ernst. Inside the key was Parvas. And they're going to reset again. The Spirit. If she gets something here from the layup shot, she can't do so. Quick tap in there. Beautiful there from Carly Ernst. She's up to 19 points for the game.
They're struggling to finish off a bit, the Bendigo Spirit.
3-0 boards tonight for Carly Ernst too.
Good D. Yep, really good D. She had quick lateral movement to get there and then just did all the right things.
Just stood there.
Put her body on Kayla Steindl and had her hands straight up.
Yep. Mate Steindl worked for that one.
Yes, Steindl gave a bit of a nudge just to try and get around her.
And it paid off for the Spirits. Steindl caught for the offensive foul there. Oh, beautiful three.
Yeah, without Ernst, they'd be in a lot of trouble.
And Ernst now up to 22 points. So she's tied with Ebsbury as the leading scorers out on the floor. But 7-0 run in favour of the Spirit, and this has been much better from Bendigo in this last.
And that was a good take from Eisenberger. She had a couple of seasons with the Melbourne Boomers, I think it was 3 years ago, as a development player. And then she kind of just disappeared. She was Ash Grant then, and she kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth. So it's really good to see her back in the league.
Oh, this is beautiful. And Lavey back out on the floor. They're working in tandem beautifully at the moment. The Spirit, and they get another three.
Oh, good. At least they're showing some fight.
And the margin is back to 15. Ten in a row. And they're on a run here, Mish.
They are. Now it's Ryan Petrick's turn to try and stem that bleeding.
It's almost like a game of chess out there at the moment.
I think this whole season is like a game of chess.
Spirit not letting go, and that's much better. That was great there for Mary Goulding. Jumped up for it, made sure Clark wasn't going to get hand to ball. We'll look at the replay here, Mish.
Yeah, good work.
And that's what you need from your young players, to sort of step up like that. And Mary Goulding, she's done that tonight. She did it on Monday night as well. And she's going to be a really good player in this league for years to come, that's for sure.
That's a really good board from Chibatoni. I'm really liking her. I'm on the Chibatoni bandwagon.
Chibatoni bandwagon?
That's hard to say. But yeah, I really like her. I think she's tough and she works hard. And yeah, what more do you want from a player?
Absolutely. 6:38 left in the fourth. Margin at 15. Bendigo on a 10-0 run.
So Chibatoni was actually, she was a youth player of the year in 2015-16 for the WNBL. So it's really good to see her back in. But Carly Ernst was also a youth player of the league in 2012. So it's, you know, you get that youth player of the year and, yeah.
You get something strapped to you and your way.
Yeah, and yeah, they're good players. They're both good players.
Katie Ray Ebsbury now to the line to convert the extra. She does on the first. She's up to 23.
Now she's going to make this one. 2 from 2.
Beautifully. And beautifully caught, Mish.
Yeah, I willed it in.
24 points. She's up now for the game. Britton tried to go for a bounce pass on Goulding. Thankfully, though, it's a Spirit ball, and it wouldn't have been a backcourt violation because it came off a Lynx foot. Look at the replay here. Good awareness, though, from Chibatoni. As the Spirit regained possession, here is Levy. Trying to get through. Good drive. And that's much better.
That's tough. I don't think Ebseri thought she fouled, but yeah, that's a tough take.
And Ebseri up to her second personal foul. That was a fantastic drive as we look at the replay again from Tessa Levy. Past Steindl. She's going to let Ebseri to go.
Yeah, she's got a quick first step, Levy. She beats you on the first step.
Tessa Levy averaging 8 points per game so far this season. Third season at the Spirit. She's a former Lynx and Rangers player herself. Missed on the first.
And Levy was, before this game, 100% from the free throw line. So she's blemished that now.
She got the second though, and that's all that matters. Margin back at 16. 9 points for Tessa Levy tonight. Ebseri, sharp, quick precision passing there from the Lynx. Crashed the boards, failed to do so, and the Spirit all the way again. And it is Tessa Levy. Good drive, up to the front court. Finds Carly Ernst. Over to Britton. Can she get another three to her name? No, she can't. She tried to steal the ball there from Darcy Garvin and couldn't do so in the end there, Mish.
No, and Bendigo have better ball movement, much better. They were stagnating there for a while, and now they're getting that ball movement. They're getting those shots away. There's a chance they can bring this back.
Margin at 16, but it's been all Spirits in this last so far. They've had the run of it. Chibatoni has to contend with Britton. Back over to Garvin. Here's Ebseri. She's got two to contend with. Kisses the glass into the breadbasket of Ernst. Over to Levy.
So now there's glad wrap on the ring for the Perth Lynx.
Yep. And I think that's a term that Bianca actually used on Monday when the Boomers couldn't shoot the three-pointers. Ball going away at the Spirits, and they've shown a lot of fight in this last quarter. So Tracy would be very happy with how the Spirit have been playing in the fourth.
Yeah, I'm not sure she'll be super happy, but it is better.
The endeavour is there again for the Spirits.
You just can't have big lapses like they just did and let Perth get that far ahead and then try to chip away. It's hard work, chipping away, chipping away, chipping away.
Britton. Bit of space now for the Spirits. Off the glass. And that was Skinner shooting the three-point opportunity there. Failed to do so. Ball now with the Lynx. 4:40 left in the fourth. 16 points to margin.
That was a good seal inside. And she had a huge mismatch, so really smart play. Great seal.
Now some sharp there. She's up to 5 points for the game. What's happening here, Mish? Timeout's been called.
Sure, the refs are having a chat.
Was that a timeout or was it something else?
Well, one of the refs went over to the bench. I'm not 100% sure. It's really hard sometimes when you actually can't see the whole court.
Exactly. However, the fourth, though, Perth lead this one by 18 as the referees convert at the moment in their own little huddle. But the Spirits, they've shown a lot of fight in this fourth, which has been fantastic to see. 12 points to 5, by the way. Referees tonight are Carly Hanks, Guy Richards and Crowley Long. 12 points to 7 in favour of the Spirit in the fourth as we go into the huddle with Tracy York. using your whiteboard there, Mish.
I really wish I was a lip reader.
She'd definitely be saying maybe crash a lot more of those boards
Yeah, and
from those missed shots.
I think she'd be a bit happier with the ball movement. They are getting those looks now, and that really stagnated, especially in the third quarter. It was pretty much non-existent for them.
As the Spirit reset, 18 points to margin, 4:30 left. Price, she's going to be good to watch over the course of the season as well for the Spirit, and a good bucket there from the Spirits. Slowly chipping away. Carly Owens up to 24 points for the game. She's been fantastic tonight for the Spirits. Here's Steindl. Trying to crash the balls out of Lynx. Failed to do so. Good drive there from Levy. She finds Britton. Britton over for three. Carly Owens crashing the boards for
Great board.
For the Spirits. Couldn't keep possession. Try to find Skinner. It was all perf there. Chibatoni, too easy there. Beat Levy to the punch.
Yeah, she ran the floor so well, and that was a precision pass as well.
Margin at 18, 3.5 left. Chemist Warehouse WNBL 2020 season. Emanating from Mackay tonight. Spirits, there's Price. Missed the three opportunity though.
It was a good shot though, it was the right shot.
Mopped up by Chibatoni for the Lynx. Here's Steindl. And the Lynx are going to reset. Got 7 left on the shot clock from what I can see. Can Ebzery keep her footing there? She's got a few Spirits to contend with, and unfortunately time elapsed. And that was beautiful defending there from the Spirits.
They did well. It was almost like Ebzery was a Harlem Globetrotter then. She was doing tricks with the ball.
More tricks than finesse there.
She's having a great game.
Absolutely. 24 and 7 are her numbers. And Burrows has been picked up for a foul here. And the Spirit can reset. Todd Hunter. Over to Levy, back to Todd Hunter. Again, just trying to get rid of her man there, couldn't do so. There's Skinner, opportunity for three. Could go in, almost did. Good board from Price, and they can go again, can the Spirits.
I thought Levy was going to launch that from downtown.
Bounce pass over to Burrows from Ebzery. Again, mopping up. Ebzery very short on the three there. And the Spirits, looks like the Spirit were going to a bit of a zone there in defence there, Mish.
Well, they have to try something, don't they?
Well, the defence did work in that instance.
Yeah, and that's a shame for Paige Price. She was she had momentum going and just couldn't stop herself there.
Paige Price on to 4 personal fouls now. She's going to be very careful. 2 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal to her name tonight.
Gee, those 4 fouls racked up pretty quick.
This game's gone pretty quick. Shot of the Spirit bench. What can the Lynx do here? Quick passing. Sharp to Garvin.
Yeah, you can't put 2 hands on them. You're going to get a foul called.
Let's look at the replay again. A little bit of contact there from Demi Skinner on Garvin. What can the Spirit do to try and box out the Lynx?
That's a good hand from Ernst.
That's
really
much better.
Ambitious pass to get it over Carly Ernst.
And again, Carly Ernst using her height to her advantage. Steindl kept her footing. Shot off, hits the rim. Can they get the defence? They can. Good drive there from Levy.
It's really dried up for Perth at the moment.
Ernst. To Todd Hunter. Over to Skinner. Back over to Levy. Three-point opportunity. Missed it. Minute 40 left in the fourth. The Spirit have had the better of the Lynx in the fourth though, Mish.
Yeah. And Tessa Levy is sitting at 1 from 6 from the three-point line, so that's 16%.
Burrows, easy 2 there. Margin at 20. Sort of, what do you think Bendigo can take away from this game against Perth here, Mish?
Look, that ball movement works for them, and you know, when it stopped in that third quarter, they just stagnated. So now they've got it back. They're beginning to cook with gas again, and I think that's a really big factor. They also need to try and bring in the other players, not just rely on Tessa Levy and Carly Ernst.
Ernst up to 26 points too, by the way.
Yeah, and it happens so quickly.
It does. 6-7 seconds left in the fourth. Perth will finally get their first win on the board after coming so close against the Boomers and the Lightning in the last 2. At Bendigo, similar to the game against the Capitals, they went down swinging. And that's beautiful there.
She needs to dunk this.
Ernst, can she go all the way? Oh, layup is just as good as a dunk though, Mish.
Yes, it is.
Carly Ernst now is up to 26 points for the game. 28, I should say now. There's always a silver lining.
Yeah, she's kind of fighting a lone battle though.
So Bendigo can take solace that they have owned the Lynx in the first and the fourth quarters. If they can continue being consistent and show continuity, they'll definitely rack up their first win of the 2020 Chemist Warehouse WNBL season. Here's Levy. She's trying to go for a late drive. Quick shot off there. Beautiful.
Somehow she got that pass out. I don't
Paige
even
Price.
how she saw that, and that's a great shot from Price.
And the margins are 13 as the clock expires. The Lynx will win this one by 13, 78-65. The Bendigo Spirits, they were all over the Perth Lynx in that first and fourth quarters. However, it was just that third quarter in the end that was the difference. And the Perth Lynx get their first win here in their campaign for 2020.
And they looked quite impressive, actually. Like Perth, they came out really hard. Well, so did Bendigo. So it was a good first quarter, teeter-tottering back and forth, and then they found another gear.
$78-65 in the end. Perth Lynx winning this one. So we look at the scores really quickly. Carly Ernst the best for Bendigo, 28-24 to Katie Ebsbury, and they're definitely two players that, you know, when the chips are down, they're the two players that you could definitely look at to stand up for your team.
Oh, for sure. They, look, I've been really impressed tonight with Katie Ray Ebsbury. She's just outstanding. Had a great game and didn't give up. She brought her teammates into the mix as well. So, yeah, she's got to be very happy.
Absolutely, and it's a good return for Katie Ebsbury, who's going to be joining us very shortly. What did you make of her game tonight?
Yeah, as I just said, she would be pleased, and you know, she just took those power moves to the basket, and her penetrating like that just opened it up for everyone else, and they had a very well-rounded team game, I feel.
A couple of her points there, 24 points she ended up finishing with, and of course Katie now does join us for a chat. Katie, good evening. Congratulations on the win. Finally, you got the monkey off your back, and I will say you must have been so proud and so happy to be back out on court after missing Monday nights.
Yeah, it was nice to get back on court. Obviously, it wasn't the best start for us or myself, but you know, we had some grit and really fought back and ended up getting the W, which we're really happy with.
Hi Katie, Mish Gubbles here. Look, congratulations on your win. So coming into this game, what was Coach Petrick's, so what did he say for you to get over the line and for you to play like you did?
I mean, you know, as a team, we just had to focus on the things we'd been improving over the last couple of games. So, and then for myself, just staying aggressive and organising the team and leading by example. So, you know, we've just been improving these last few games. Like every game, we're getting better and better. So, hopefully, we can continue the trend and yeah, get some more W's as we go.
And tell us a little bit about some of the other players who played really well. Darcy Garvin was fantastic. Chibitoni was great as well. And, of course, Kayla Stendal was fantastic too. It's good to see the team sort of gelling at this time of the year as well during the campaign.
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, the girls, Darcy played really well and Kayla's always a steadying support as well. So Chibitoni's really, hitting her straps at the moment too. So, you know, we're a very new team. We've got a lot of young ones as well. So, you know, all we can hope for is improvement every game. And I think as we go, we're just going to get more comfortable with each other and learn how to play together, which you can see. And hopefully that translates to some more wins for us.
Well, Katie, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Congratulations again on the win and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well spoken there, Katie Ray Ebsbury.
Yeah, especially after a game like she had, worked so hard, and
Yep,
she was fantastic.
She looked back home on the floor tonight after missing Monday night.
Yeah, and you know, maybe that helped her game. She might have just needed that break, you know, needed to, you know, get her spark back, because she certainly looked like she had her spark back tonight.
She did indeed. The Perth Lynx getting their first win of the 2020 WNBL Chemist Warehouse campaign, as we quickly look at the rest of the games as well. The upcoming matches, Southside and Townsville. That should be exciting tomorrow night, 7 p.m, Townsville Stadium, the Fire. They've been fantastic this season so far.
Yeah, Townsville, they're my smoky, as I said in my first commentary. They're my smoky. They're the team to watch.
They also play the Bendigo Spirit on Saturday night as well. We also got the Sydney Uni Flames and the Capitals, which is going to be another great game to watch. And then, of course, the Spirit and the Fire do battle on Sunday.
So much WNBL, and you know, I've laid it down and I've said I am going to watch every single match, so I've got a busy schedule ahead of me.
Well, in the end, though, it was the Perth Lynx who got the W, their first win in season 2020. Michelle, thank you so much for your company tonight. It's been fun. Let's do it again next week.
Sounds great.
From everyone at Rainmaker who put us through air, thank you to everyone watching on KO Sports. This has been the 2020 Chemist Warehouse WNBL wrap-up show with myself, Michael Thompson, and Michelle Gubbles. Good night from now.